Welcome back. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline, INEC clears ADA 13 orders to apply for registration as parties. First Bank floors Nduka Obaigbena's GHL at Court of Appeal. BUA's 250 billion for smallholder farmers. 54.9 trillion 2025 budget goes into effect. Efficiency is goal. FCCPC recovers 10 billion for cheated consumers. Banking most affected. Brazilian ex-president guilty of coup plotting. Nopeng Dangote clash again. Appeal court asks chief registrar to sell escrow crude belonging to GHL orders in FPSO Tamara Tokini. Okay, what stories do we have?
Are you happy to take the FCCPC
again? FCCPC recovers 10 billion
that is it.
Naira for cheated consumers.
That is it. If you find my trustworthy service provider now, I'm going to be petitioning FCCPC because according to the director of Corporate Affairs under J.E. Jago of the FCCPC, he says that with the data that they recovered, about 9,991 cases in total were reported, and they recovered 10 billion, reflecting the scale of harm that we consumers suffer.
And that's the
in the poor service provided around, and the significant financial burden that consumers have to carry because of some nonsense. Business people who think they can collect our money and talk down at all. So going forward, I'm going to be reporting to them. They said that these aggrieved customers, through their complaints desk, were able to bring this before them, and they received them and resolved them across key sectors, about 30 different sectors.
Wow, that's huge.
They said that, some of them, the grievances start from, range from unfair charges, service failure, unauthorized deduction banks, deceptive marketing, poor disclosure of terms, product defects, failure to provide redress within acceptable time. And I know some, they say 24 hours, some they say 48 hours.
And they will not answer you before.
They will say you should come accused. You should bring receipts. They will know that POS transactions fail from source. Instead of them to resolve,
they'll be
tell you to
up
go
and
back
down.
to POS. You will not be going.
Yes, back and forth. Nobody takes the blame.
FCCPC, well done. Thanks.
Okay, I have 2 milestones were recorded yesterday in the security situation of the country. They say the United Kingdom government lifted its red flag on security situation in Kaduna State, while also a captured leader of an Islamic fundamentalist group was convicted and sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for the Kuje Breezes jailbreak 2 years ago. So good news. Applause. So they said that with the movement of Kaduna from red to amber category, British citizens can now travel to the state for investment and for leisure. UK Development Director of the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, Cynthia Rowe, they said she made this known during a signing of mutual accountability framework with the Kaduna State government. That's on the one hand. So for the leader, Ansaru leader linked to Kuje jailbreak, DSS yesterday arraigned 3 individuals on 2 separate charges relating to offences of terrorism, kidnapping, gun running, concealment of information, amongst others. Among them, we have Mahmoud Usman, a top commander of the proscribed Ansaru terrorist group, was convicted and jailed for 15 years after admitting his involvement in illegal mining and using of his proceeds to fund the purchase of arms for terrorism and kidnapping. And then the other two, Abubakar Abba and Huzaifa Haruna, they were also arraigned. It just, and there's, when you read the whole report, just all the things that they were caught with and all the things that they've been involved with. And I think that's a fantastic story, honestly. Well done, DSS.
Yeah, well done. This is a good news for people, the farmers and people in the agricultural sector. The Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit, PFSCU, yesterday got a presidential directive to fast-track the disbursement of the federal government's 250 billion naira credit support facility for smallholder farmers. That's amazing. The facility is at a single-digit interest rate. Yes, the directive by the Vice President Kashim Shettima was issued at the 6th meeting of the PFSCU steering committee at the presidential villa. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, Vice President said speeding up the release of the funds was crucial to ensuring that they reached the intended beneficiaries without unnecessary delay. He also hailed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for granting the PFSCU the political cover to act decisively on key reforms in the agricultural sector, particularly the liberalization of fertilizer raw materials and the establishment of the Presidential Seed Fund. Other governors of different states like Ekiti State, Jigawa State, Cross River State, they are so happy about this and they welcome the credit support scheme, but advise that local farmers should be encouraged with incentives, particularly through subsidies. And then so many stakeholders were at this meeting, the deputy governors of Niger, Ebonyi State, the ministers of finance and agriculture, ministers of state for finance and agriculture, president of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. They are all represented within, also they had representatives within the private sector. And this is a great one because you can never underestimate importance of food, excessive food,
and supporting the farmers.
Supporting farmers in the country.
So I have one quickly. The recently brokered peace by the Ministry of Labour and Employment between the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, that's NUPENG, and Dangote Refinery may be short-lived as NUPENG yesterday threatened to resume industrial action. And NUPENG, in an issued statement yesterday, accused Dangote Refinery of negating the resolutions reached at the peace meeting. They said it made a statement accusing Alhaji Sayu Aliu Dantata, the founder of MRS Holding, instructing all the truck drivers who are NUPENG members for several years to remove the union stickers from their trucks yesterday, and subsequently instructed them to forcefully drive into the Dangote Refinery to load. Aside, you know, normally they take turns. There's a form of arrangement before you get to load. So he asked them to remove all the stickers and then go straight to loading. Now, they went ahead to say that the NUPENG officials were also stopped. Their trucks were stopped from entering the Dangote Refinery to load. And at the end of the day, he had to call, Dantata had to call the Navy officials to come and drive the union members. He used a helicopter hovering around them, and so they are calling to say that this strike would have to continue, that he has negated, you know, he has reneged on what they had planned. But they tried to solve the issue now. They gave them, he agreed, they agreed. Dangote agreed.
Because my truck driver be a member, come stick and give them. Go and carry product for my customer. Because Nigerians in some states, because of this strike, already are buying expensively. And there should always be human face.
So if there's a strike now,
for me, the human face is
and he has a businessman at the end of the day.
Punch. Major headline, NUPENG Dangote clash as tanker drivers deal collapses. I've taken that story. 2027, Jonathan Obi hold closed-door meeting. INEC shortlist 14 new party applicants, disqualifies 157. First Bank floors Nduka Obiagbena's GHL at the Court of Appeal. 5.6 trillion debt, energy crisis looms as gas firms halt supply. Court summons Mark and others over ADC leadership tussle. Supporters await Fubara's London return ahead of resumption. We'll take a story and do a short break.
And then take a short one.
There you go.
Okay, so the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, on Thursday held a closed-door meeting with former President Goodluck Jonathan. The Obi disclosed the visit in his post on his official X handle on Thursday, and he described Jonathan as his elder brother, a statesman and a leader, and that they had a fruitful meeting and discussed the state of the nation. Although the details of the meetings were not made public, the development, they say, comes amid, you know, ongoing conversations about, you know, the direction, especially as we're looking towards 2026. And then they're saying that attempts to obtain clarification from Obi's former campaign spokesperson and leaders of the Obidia movement were unsuccessful as calls and messages went unanswered. They said this meeting is the latest in Obi's string of high-level engagement, signaling what observers believe could be early stirrings of new political coalition. So, yeah, it's just to say, you know, he's having meetings. What did they say? We don't know, but it was fruitful, but it's just good
to have these meetings.
Yes.
We're still reviewing the Punch. Who's ready?
Okay. I have intelligence that Fubara is going to come back and they're going to put him in office. So my source...
This intelligence, is it from this paper?
Intelligence.
Is it from the newspaper or
It's from
higher power?
Okay.
Higher power and intelligence. So
Okay.
Punch is telling us
Yeah.
that their intelligence
Okay.
is giving them intelligence that Governor Fubara in just a week will be back in office. According to his that's the intelligence sha, but I mentioned it in the paper. One governor's special assistant on electronic media,
I leak the news.
Omasugua, he says that there's excitement in the air. Everybody's looking forward. Although they not do any arrangements, they did not even book any hall or theater or space
to
but
celebrate.
the excitement is in the air because the people of Rivers State are excited. They know that he's a man who has showed them that he loves them and that such a thing like this has not happened. So it is only natural that as the date is coming close, that they are feeling a certain way.
What are their shabby colors?
They are not called clothes. They are not make
Alligator
colors.
pepper
They not call
red.
color. They not do anything special. You know, and it's also the media assistant to the sole administrator is saying, we don't have plan to extend office. There's no extension of emergency room. My boss is already inspecting project. I'm wondering, he stay office 6 months and they're inspecting
Project just a week
as in they have already
before.
built 6 months. 6 months.
But remember, you also
Half is
saved
not
them
quality
money.
of 6 months.
You also saved them some money. You heard that last week.
But everybody is just happy. They're just
We're
looking
happy on
forward
their
to
behalf.
it. They say, but somebody Punch now asked our media aide on a special assistant on electronic media that is governor around that governor has gone to the London, but you have not come back. So when is he come back? Soon. And that we are looking forward because it's getting closer. It's okay. That's all. It's not around.
He
needs to rest
the
before.
FCT minister, any
They did not touch
The intelligence did not get there.
Intelligence don't get there.
Intelligence is even
Amakaya story.
So the INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced that 14 political associations have scaled the first hurdle in their bid for registration as political parties, while 157 others failed to meet the requirements. This decision was taken at the Commission's regular meeting on Thursday, during which it also reviewed preparations for the upcoming off-cycle governorship elections and the end of tenure area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory. And we know that one of the parties that was given a nod by INEC is the All Democratic Alliance, the ADA, with 13 other associations which applied. So having crossed the first stage of the scrutiny, the associations, according to the electoral agency, will move to the next stage of assessment based on the guidelines for registration. So wish them luck. It's getting more exciting.
Yes, it is.
Cannot wait.
Moving on now to the Daily Sun, a major headline. Further fare hike looms as federal government scraps airline VAT exemptions. Nupeng threatens fresh strike. Nigeria records setback in oil revenue. In other stories, INEC shortlists ADA, ATP, ANC 11 for political party registration. FBN versus GHL, appeal court orders sale of crude oil on board Tamara Tokoni. Afenifere hails ban on nights, underage grazing, carrying of firearms by headers in the southwest. Natasha, we are sliding into legislative dictatorship, NLC tells Senate. What do we have in the Sun?
It's NLC Joe Ajeri that is talking to the Senate President Akpabio and the leadership of the upper chamber of the National Assembly. This thing you people are doing is called what they said in his words, patently illegal, because the 6 months suspension has expired, and now you are now saying this matter is sub judice when your 6 months have already expired and that you're extending it. Let me quote him very well so that it will not be like his name that said it. In his statement, the NLC President and Nigerian Labour Congress President, Honorable Comrade Joe Ajero, he said that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the leadership of the upper legislative chamber, he accused them of willfully denying the people of Kogi Central their right to representation despite a court ruling. That's the word I want to use there. do not willfully deny the people of Kogi Central, who are the Nigerian people who she's representing in the House, their right to representation. All these fights that have reached. At this point, pettiness is what we're experiencing. I said it, was it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday, remember?
And I like that, you know, the Labour Congress is now pushing their pressure power to pressurize them to do the right thing.
The Senate to do the right thing.
And I think that the Senate President can finish strong if he leaves this matter. You know, but if he drags this matter, it's only this matter
becomes
that
vindictive.
Wikipedia, Google, and what's the other one? ChatGPT. When you press them like this,
they will not be quoting.
I just think you should clear record.
I have the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere. It has held the comprehensive ban on night and underage grazing, as well as carrying of firearms by herders in the southwest. So we have the Chairman Council of Fulani Chiefs in the southwest. This is Alhaji Mohammed Abubakar Bambado II, announced the ban at a press conference in Lagos. This was early this week. So the various measures that have been considered as necessary to curb the southwest and to curb insecurity in the southwest and strengthen peaceful coexistence between herders and host communities in Yoruba land. They said he reeled them out, as well as then we also have the Afenifere National Publicity Secretary Jare Ajayi also described the ban as welcome. So they said that there's going to be absolute ban on night grazing, underage herding, and also not carrying of arms by the herders while they're in the southwest. The council of Fulani Chiefs, their spokesperson says that for them, they want to do everything that the Fulani and the Yorubas have coexisted peacefully for centuries. The Fulani herders have coexisted with their Yoruba hosts for centuries, and this is a relationship that they would like to continue to maintain. They are committed to restoring that relationship. And also anything, and they condemn any acts of banditry and destruction that is linked to the Fulani community, and also urging security agencies to eradicate criminal elements and that threaten stability. There's also a bill right now that that seeks to address rising conflicts between herders and farmers, and they said it's on its second reading. And so far, you know, everybody, stakeholders are quite positive about this bill, and they think that it will go a long way in also protecting host communities as well as those who are herding their cattle. But the bill also suggests that ranches should be built instead of having them just grazing across
just like that.
communities.
We need to evolve into that. You have a story?
Yes, so the appeal court has ordered the sale of crude oil on board Tamara Tokuni. The appeal court sitting in Abuja has appointed the chief registrar of the Court of Appeal in liaison with the Admiralty Marshal to take charge, possession, and to secure any cargo of crude oil on board FPSO Tamara Tokuni against expropriation, waste, dissipation, and or fraudulent disposition of any of the parties, which is the parties are First Bank of Nigeria and General Hydrocarbons Limited, you know, pending the hearing and determination of a suit before the trial court. So a three-man panel has been set up, and the court has also issued an order directing that sale, and that the proceeds of each sale should be put into a single interest yielding escrow account in the name of the chief registrar of the Court of Appeal, pending the hearing of the suit before the trial court and or before the Court of Arbitration. The FPSO has crude oil belonging to GHL, Corn Oil, and NNPCI, while First Bank claims that GHL owed it over $225 million debt. However, GHL strongly denied the claim, saying that First Bank severally breached the 2021 subrogation agreement and no payment is due. Yes, so this back and forth is happening, and GHL has accused First Bank of abusing an ex parte freezing order while it released part of the crude oil in the FPSO to Corn Oil and NNPC, but the Court of Appeal has now stopped all that. So, you know, it's a case that is under determination. So we just have to wait and see how it plays
what
out.
happens. Thank you so much, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper review.